So Ghostface won this week, and we want to wax poetic about Ghost. I know Ghost is Sean's second favorite rapper, 1B, I guess you could say, for Sean. So I'm gonna let him, take it away and wax poetic about Ghost.
No doubt. Appreciate that, bro. Definitely shout out to the Discord, man. The Discord be having shows all day, all night, everything. So appreciate y'all even voting for Ghost Dini.
Discord's a dangerous place.
Dangerous. it's so ill though, because we get real conversations in there, real people in there.
Yeah, it's pure. Shout out to everybody in the Discord.
Everybody in the Discord for sure. Man, where do I start with Ghost? Like I said, Nas 1A to me, Ghost is 1B. I've always said that. When Wu was going through their thing at that point, when we started losing our trust in Wu, Ghost was holding that flag for a long time. He was holding that flag from Supreme Clientele, Purdy Tony album, Bulletproof Wallets. He was the one. His pen increased. He was one of the only members of the Wu, if not the only member of the Wu, that increased in popularity and also pen and also quality over time, because he wasn't the popular one out the group in the very beginning. In the very beginning, he had that mask on. I've always said if I was going to be a rapper, I want to come out with the mask on and nobody know my face to see me at all. I thought that was one of the best things to do as an MC, to come out scaring people with that stocking mask on. One of the best storytellers, one of the ones that give you all the emotion in the stories and actually take you through the story and give you a vivid picture of the story. Not many can do that, and Ghost can do that. For him to actually do that and also still be part of one of the best, to me, but been the best hip hop groups of all time, and also be able to shine in the high moments, the low moments, and the in between moments, to me, they tell you how good of an MC, how great of an MC he is. Ghost also, to me, was the soulful piece of the group. When you think about the soul of Wu, Ghost was the one that had the soul in Wu. Even if you think about the Iron Man Chamber, that was a soulful album. You're talking about a lot of samples from Al Green. You're talking about that good vibration that RZA was able to tap into, force an old soul like Ghost, like Dennis Coles. And one thing that, I met Ghost, it was in San Diego, man, like in 2003, in the back of an alley, which is crazy. They were leaving the show in the back of an alley, man. And real chill dude. And he was like, "Peace, Lord." And that was all I needed to see. And I was like, "Peace, Lord." You know what I mean? But for real, we talk about Raekwon in the Cuban Link. You don't get the Cuban Link album without Ghost side of it. With Ghost side of the story. And
right.
Having Ghost side of the story on Cuban Link, to me, actually brings that full circle as an MC, because I think that's when he started realizing how strong he was as an individual, because he was able to rap alongside of Raekwon. Raekwon was even at his zenith at that time. He brought the emotion into Cuban Link, and that's why Cuban Link was so successful, because without Ghost emotion and Ghost his fire, Cuban Link is just really a dope lyrical based album. But Ghost brought a little bit of that inflection that you need to balance out an album like Cuban Link, because the beats and everything we always talked about was on point. But Ghost was the one who actually brought more gloss to it, right? He brought the shine to it, because he was able to illustrate different things. Sometimes you know what he was talking about in his lyrics. Sometimes you know what he was saying, but it resonated. It still stick to landing. And for me, Ghost 1B, Nas 1A, Ghost 1B, Ghost Dini.
Word. What you got, Coop?
I listened to Supreme Clientele today, and I realized that it is one of the more special moments in hip hop, and it really just doesn't get enough credit. I don't know where the album ranks high all time on my list, but the moment may be greater than the album. I mean, he single-handedly, I feel like, with the beginning of that album, took a franchise that was getting disenfranchised and put it on its back for an unexpected championship run. Supreme Clientele, to me, is the most unexpected championship run of all the hip hop albums, of all the great hip hop albums. It's like, well, no, we knew Moment of Truth was coming, because there was word that like Preem and Guru were getting back together and working on something. We knew B was coming. There was word that Kanye in common and gotten together, and we had got the food from the Dave Chappelle show, so we knew that they were like working together. When you hear the beginning, the Supreme Clientele, like the intro, and then you hear Nutmeg, like when one drops, you know, and he goes, "We back, here to sharpen your sword." TMF, Wu-Tang Clan, and then you hear him go, "Scream on him, Ghost." And then he comes in, the way that beat drops, it's that classic moment. We at the weed gate waiting for Jake. We want 8 ravioli bags.
bags.
2 thirsty villains with a belly ache.
Belly
Heavyweight
Yeah.
crime writers pull out the stash from this white bitch talking about damn Ghost. You the only nigga I know. Like when the cops come, you never hide your toe. Like the first time you hear that, you're like, what the fuck is this? I love it. And
Nobody's talking like Ghost.
nobody for an album of just like whatever the talk is, you're so addicted to his world on that album. It's some of the best like come in lines, like, you know what I'm saying, like he's consistently brilliant like throughout that album. Like people forget, it's like what's the shit on Wu Banger 101? Oh man, he slid on that shit right after Jizza, and people didn't even like check it. You know what I'm saying? He's just a special MC, special album. It's got a top 10 catalog, maybe top 5. Iron Man and Supreme are his definite classics. I personally think Fish Scale would be my third, and then Bulletproof fourth, and then Pretty Tony fifth. But that's a hell of a top 5. That's a top 5 that nobody has except for like a Jay and Nas or a Scarface, quite frankly. And so I have him in my top 10. I have his catalog in my top 10. I have Supreme Clientele in my top 20. Wu-Tang is special, man. 4 of my favorite 20 rap albums are Wu-Tang albums.
Easily.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's Enter, The Purple Tape, Liquid Swords, and Supreme. And then I could sprinkle Iron Man in somewhere, but he's turned out to be the best member from the best crew of all time. So shout out to the crazy crew in the Discord chat for showing some love. And
I'm gonna get some thoughts off on Ghost real quick, Coop. I'm gonna be brief. I would say, to your point, top 5 discography of all time. I don't think that's even, hyperbole. I think, Ghost has a case for that. Far as being in my top 10 list, if there was any Wu member that would make my top 10 list, it would be Ghostface. But I'm funny about that kind of thing. I think Wu is the greatest group of all time, hands down. And I'm one that's, the whole is greater than the sum of all their parts for me. So I like to give the solo artist the chance to make it in my top 10 list instead of putting any of the Wu artists in my personal top 10, because that's like picking between your children. So that's just a funny criteria that I have. But as far as Ghost is concerned, man, online where they be cooking LeBron for capping all the time, like when you say like, yo, I woke up, I knew Kobe was going to score at least 70 points. And then he scored 81. That's what I'm about to sound like, because unlike you, Coop, I wasn't surprised at Supreme Clientele, and it's for a weird reason. I remember before the album dropped, him and RZA had the cover of The Source, and it's a simple cover with just them standing there. But I remember that's one of my favorite covers of all time for The Source magazine, and I remember thinking like, yo, I got a feeling that Ghost is going to drop a classic. Like, for real, just looking at that cover and seeing what time they was on, even though RZA didn't produce the album, he executive produced it. Just seeing them on the cover together, marketing for the Ghost Dog soundtrack and Ghost's album, I was like, okay, they going back in the chamber, because prior to that, a lot of the team had moved away from RZA. So just to see Ghost standing shoulder to shoulder with RZA on that cover.
Love that cover too.
Yeah. In my mind, I'm like, yo,
I love that
this
cover.
is going to be a classic.